What's going on, guys? Yesterday we just picked up the 2023 Model S Ultra Red, and we're gonna give you a quick first look. Let's go. We have the new Model S right here. First question is going to be about the paint color. Is it worth the $3,000? Just look at it. I think it is. So I have an older 2018 Model 3, which is a multi-coat paint right over here. And you can see the difference between this and the Ultra Red. So just kind of giving you an overview of what this means. Is this a multi-coat, which typically means 2 layers, and this one's a 3-layer, right? And then supposedly the Giga Berlin paint can do up to like 13 layers or something like that. It's insane. So I think the 13 Crimson Red, or I forget what it's called, that's supposed to be even a deeper. So you can see the main difference here is it's a little bit flatter, and then you look at this, it's a very deep, almost like a darker tone of red. So that's really the first, like, I guess, big update with the new red color. Couple other things they also did is this is not like new, like with this particular car, but it is the 19-inch Tempest wheels. It's actually a cover. I think this is a really nice tone compared to like the Gemini wheels on the Y. That one is like a brighter, like chrome or silver, so it doesn't look as good. But they blacked out everything, right? So like the original S's on like the 2016 upgrade and stuff like that, even 2013, these were all chrome, right? So they blacked it out. You got a bigger side repeater cameras, and all the way across it is gloss black compared to like the Model Y or Model 3 that's more like a satin black. And you can see the bumper is slightly different. The main change is going to be right here. So this is very similar to like the 3 or the Y. It's just a fog light and there's no chrome down here. But relatively, it's a small lift. It's not a major change. Other than small changes, like the mirror is slightly different. It kind of curves in a little bit more in, so that's another factor. The main thing that changed also is going to be the charge port. You can see that it has a double motion, 1, 2, and then it's a lot larger area, very much similar to the 3 and Y. The older one was a little smaller area, the 2016 or older, right before this refresh. The tail light actually changed slightly, and the main thing that changed is the rear plate used to actually go into the tail light right here, and then it kind of flowed through. This one now is separate completely with rear plate right here. Of course, it's also black. There's a little bit of chrome. This is the long range, so this doesn't have a carbon fiber spoiler. If you do get the plaid, you will get that. I think the big factor why I waited this long to get this Model S too is because I wanted to get the hardware 4.0. It's a new computer that just came out, and really anything that's coming out now and being produced right now for the S and X are all going to have hardware 4.0. So if you have some in the inventory, that's some question that I would ask is whether it has hardware 4.0 or the 3.0, right? The way you tell that, and thanks to @Kilowatt for giving me this information, but he posted a Twitter about when hardware 4.0 was first coming out, and you can see this camera right here, and if you look at it, there's like a red coating around that camera. It's slightly bigger. In the side repeater cameras, you get a much more red coating if you look at it in the angle, kind of up and down, right? And also you can see the camera up there, it has this orange layout and it has a triple camera, and you could even see the red coating on that as well. All hardware 4.0s don't come with a T badge right at the end. Normally the S's actually have a T badge right here. All the newer ones just says Tesla, they don't have the T logo. So that's how you tell. I think that's a big deal because when you're buying it and you have the option to buy between hardware 3 and 4, I would highly recommend getting the 4, mainly because Tesla announced that it's not going to be compatible, whereas like you can just install a new computer. So if you're going to pay all the same money, it's like might as well get the newer one. But I also have found that when you see it's a little bit cheaper, it's probably a little bit cheaper on the Tesla website because it is an older hardware 3.0 or a demo vehicle, right? So you might get a little bit of discount. If it doesn't matter, snag it. If not, just wait. Ask them for the newer hardware 4.0. A lot of the features are still kind of being, developed, and there's not a lot of difference right now, but I'm sure later down the line as they do their software upgrades, it's gonna change and have an impact. Now that we went over kind of like the basics and the changes, this is kind of a really quick first look, and then we're gonna show you some nice montage at the end, just instead of me talking, just so that you guys can see how beautiful this is. Let me go to the inside and show you the interior. So welcome to the interior of the Model S. It is nice. It is very, very nice. I ended up going with the black seats and I believe black wood. And it's interesting because there's a lot of design elements that I'm used to in the Y that they incorporate in the new S and X, right? So for example, the door button is now a button just like the 3 and Y. And then you got this, they kind of connected it all across the dashboard as well. So you can see a lot of similarities that they're kind of trying to standardize some of that design elements all across their vehicle. They also have this interesting fabric right here with the leather. When the first upgrade of the S and X came out, they actually came out with a yoke. And they didn't have the option for a round wheel. This was one of the first ones, right? They've been doing this now for a while. You can actually pay to get it replaced if you don't like the yoke. I actually ordered a yoke in the beginning, but they had one with the round wheel. So I changed my reservation and I just got it. It doesn't bother me. There is no stock. I think that's the biggest thing that I was like, oh my God, it's gonna take some time to use to. But honestly, it didn't take as long as I thought it would take me. Like for example, like you're used to using a stock to do your signal indicator, but now you have a little button. It's a haptic feedback, so it is nice. And then you go left and right. So that's kind of different. Same thing with your high beam. And then these are pretty much feels exactly the same like it does on the Y and 3. So that it was not difficult for me to get used to. One thing that was weird was, for example, like the honking. It's also haptic feedback. I mean, you could, I think, use this too. Wait, you can't? I guess you can't. Okay, I didn't know that. I just never tried it. The autopilot is not this one, it's actually the button. So you could set it up as doing a single button, single press, or a double press. So I do have a single press, so I just get on the road and I push this, puts it on autopilot. The UI is essentially almost the same. It was really easy coming into this because it's very, very similar to the Y that I've been driving for a while. And I guess the only big difference is they have a search bar. It said new when I first got the car. This is super cool. And this is cool too, the acceleration. Now there's an insane mode and also a drag strip mode. And they actually tell you how to launch as well. So if you're unsure about how to launch properly, they actually show you how to do that. This is how you kind of go forward and backward, right? So when you press the brake, you can see that I could go forward and it went to drive mode, and then I could go reverse, right? And then when you want to park and then neutral, you hold long press for neutral, and then you can hold long press for park. And I actually have the beta function. Again, it's weird, but I swear you get used to it and it's actually very good. Like this is awesome, auto shift out of park. As long as my doors are closed and my seatbelt's on, when I push the brake button, it'll automatically sense where I'm at, and then it'll put it to either drive or reverse based on the, I guess, where you're at. So if it senses there's something behind me, it'll go into drive. If it senses the same thing, it'll go into reverse and so on. So far, it hasn't been wrong for me. So I've been keeping that on and being careful about it because it's still in beta mode, just to give you guys an idea. There's actually buttons right here. So you can see that the PR and D came out with the emergency, and I could hold this. There you go. I guess you're used to this. A lot of the newer cars now have a very, very small like changing on that. But then the screen is definitely different. And this is a cool thing I really like about the new S's as well. It has a swivel screen already built in. What I mean by that is if you go to display, you can see you can do center, and you could even go all the way right. So I'm not really sure why you go all the way to the right, but you can see, actually that's not bad. It actually gets closer to me as far as like having to do that. But I usually have it set on left so that it kind of faces towards me. So you have this, push and sliding, and you also have another organizer that's built in on a track right here. And then you have a massive deep right center console here. This one's cool. You can actually bring that in, and you could have a much bigger, like if you have a giant water bottle or something, this is good. I actually had a bottle there, and then you could actually bring it in and out. So that's the different part. This is the same. This is just up here, and then there's really nothing here. So I think we are going to get an organizer here. So it's really cool to see the progression, right, from the older ones, and they haven't changed the design a lot as far as the exterior. The interior change, honestly, is the most significant in my opinion. So we're kind of spending a little bit more time here because the old one used to be a vertical screen that went all the way up here. You had the same screen right here as well. So let's go to the back, and then after that, we're gonna show you some pretty shots of the car. The most different part about the S is going to be this screen right here that you see. You can actually control the AC from the back. You could actually change your heat settings of the seats. So this is kind of neat. Could be annoying, but again, you can lock it in the front if you have to. Let's go ahead and go to the music. This is, I would say, the coolest thing. You could actually watch YouTube in the back. And look at this bar. This is what, for non-parents, this is what we use to latch on to the car seat. You literally do that, and then you have access to the kid safety. So as a parent myself, like, this is huge. This is awesome. Like, Tesla is thinking about some of the small design changes. So that pretty much sums up the first look on the S. We're super excited to have this in our fleet. We're excited to come out with a lot of new products. If you have any questions about the new Ultra Red 2023 Model S, let us know in the comments below. If you don't, enjoy this new montage, and we're gonna show you some pretty shots. Here we go.